So I'm going to live more, let's say for 30 years, so 30 times 12 is 360. Okay, I need 360,000 euros to have 1,000 euros every month until I die.
My mind is dazzling.
Yeah. But that's the kind of certainties we're looking for. That's if I could sign somewhere for an insurance that guarantees me that I have 1,000 euros every month until I die, a lot of people would sign up for that.
But the thing is, that's never a guarantee. Even if you have that in the bank, it's just actually life becomes a bit of a threat if that happens. Because if I have that certain amount in the bank that you calculated, and then something changes in the economy, or we get a different government that changes the interest rate or whatever, or just money devaluates more than we expected, then suddenly life is...
I know, but it's at the moment when I put down the calculator, and one moment it gives me a kind of a reassurance, and then immediately after 5 minutes those thoughts come up, but what if the euro collapses?
Yeah, and so we can never be alive.
Yeah.
But again, I come back to what I said earlier. We have no idea whether or not we're going to be alive next year.
Or next month.
Or next month, or even next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that I have to live like an idiot and make debts and everything. But if I celebrate life right now as it is, then I don't need to worry about all these things. And the nice thing is also that I know from experience we need less. We don't need all these things that give us security, because I know that a house won't give me security. My friendship is much more important to me than any house I could ever have.
Yeah. But what gives you that sense of peace then?
To me, it's no longer fighting life as it is happening right now. It's dancing with life as it is happening right now and not questioning it. So I don't wonder too much about, is this the right thing? No, apparently it's happening right now, and so why not go with it and explore it and dance with it? And the most magical moments happen with friends or with people or with in general, and they're not the big stories of me traveling to the other end of the world and having a miracle, whatever. But it's in the very simplicity of a friend who shares whatever hurt them or whatever inspires them, or maybe just sitting down and having a cup of coffee together.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is the real magic.
So you're just celebrating life all the time?
Yeah. I wouldn't use the word celebrating.
Sharing?
I'm living life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because celebrating could appear as if it's always happy. It isn't.
No.
Like, I can be very sad, but I'm not sad that I'm sad.
Yeah.
It's just one of the movements that happens in life. And yes, if something happens to a friend of mine or someone that I care greatly about, of course it hurts me, and there'll be tears. But how beautiful to just let those tears be without having to stop them or without having to know all the answers, because sometimes we don't know the answers. Sometimes we just sit still with our friends and we haven't got a clue together.
Yeah. So you're not rejecting life as it comes or as it is.
No.
It's totally accepted or totally embraced.
Yeah. Even the non-acceptance of it.
If that would appear. Yeah.
No, that appears as well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course it appears, because...
Yeah, you sometimes don't accept things.
Of course. I wouldn't know an example right now, but of course there are things happening in life where you think, oh, I don't want that to happen. If I miss a bus or miss a train, I don't want that.
Yeah. But it's good that you say that, because in some spiritual teachings, if I would walk out the door and step into a pile of dog poo, I would have to go, namaste.
Oh my God!
Namaste.
But if I do that, what happens if because you got that a lot with positive thinking, as they call it. But then what I'm doing is I'm saying namaste to the pile of shit that's there. But I'm saying to what I'm feeling, that's not okay.
Yeah.
But the curse that's coming, if I'm stepping into that, why shouldn't that be allowed?
Yeah.
That's part of life
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So if I step into that, I would curse very loudly.
Shit, what's happening?
Yeah.
Who let this dog do his
Yeah,
thing
of
here?
course. And that's it's part of the expression as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I could stay stuck in that forever. I could go, I could spend a day thinking, oh, I should have said namaste. I wasn't allowed to curse.
Yeah.
Or I could stay upset with whomever the dog owner is for another week.
Yeah.
But I can also say, that was that moment that happened. I didn't like it. And I, had to change shoes or clean my shoes. And obviously that's a very dirty job to do.
Yeah.
And I move on. And because the next moment is already happening and there's another adventure waiting.
Yeah. Beautifully said. When people want to get in touch with you, is there also an English website?
Yeah, it's jorisvinken.com.
And your last name is spelled Vincken?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put a link underneath the video interview.
Yeah.
Are you planning to travel the world and speak as passionate about this as you just did for the last 50 minutes?
Yeah, I sort of go wherever I'm invited.
Yeah.
So I don't have specific plans of wanting to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I love whatever invitation happens. And sometimes these invitations are not verbally. Sometimes, I don't know, a friend is in need somewhere and you travel there, and while you're there, things happen.
Yeah. And how do people react in your environment? How you call it, your family? Do they now see a different version of yours than, let's say, 25 years ago?
I wouldn't know exactly. I would have to ask them. I think we, to a large extent, we see the people we meet. We don't really see. I don't really see Patrick. I see who I think Patrick is,
and that interpretation.
Yeah, and that says a lot about me. Whatever my interpretation of someone with a beard is, or someone with a headphone is, or someone with the jeans is, that's so I can't really see you. I have no idea who's really sitting there.
Yeah.
So obviously people who know me a long time will partially see me the way they used to see me.
Yeah.
And most likely I'll respond to that. So I'll respond much more the way they used to know me.
Yeah.
Because obviously life is it's not a one-way street, it's an interaction. If I'm sitting down with one musician and I sing one note and he sings another note, and within 5 minutes we've got a beautiful song.
Yeah.
And with another musician just as talented, I can sit for days and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Why is that? It's not because I'm great or that person is great or not so great. It's just because there's some magic happening between people. And so some people might feel very inspired by me. Others will say, what a lunatic he is.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will love one poem that I write and say the other ones, I can't, it's not for me. Some people will love some of the music that I used to do and not like what I'm writing now, or the other way around. And
yeah, it's a constant improvisation, interaction between people.
Yeah, and anybody who will tell you that they have the answer or know, whether that's to making money or whether that's to finding the right song or whether that's to spiritual enlightenment, anybody who says they've got the answer, I would be slightly careful.
Yeah.
Because they might have found the answer that works for them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't need to be the answer that works for me.
Yeah. Final question about music. You've made a lot of music in your life. Could you say that did this come through you? Was it a gift from God, as some musicians call it? I think my question is, where does inspiration come from? This inspiration to write that song, to make that music?
Well, to an extent, we never know, because I don't know. I think every person has talents, and for me, the first time that I sat behind the piano when I was, I think, 7 or 8, there was this connection between us. Even though I couldn't really play, I wrote my first very simple song within a week. So there was something there.
Yeah.
And for other people, it's drawing. I can't draw nothing because I no matter how hard I try, it just I don't have that talent. Other people have it with speaking. Other people have it with whatever their talent is. So there is some aspect that's natural to us. Maybe it's our genes or the way we were raised or whatever. And there's an extent of fine-tuning the instrument that we are. So if my talent is to draw, the more I draw, the more I can do that without thinking.
Yeah.
So if I sit behind the piano now, I could almost be falling asleep and my fingers will still be playing because I've done it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I don't need to think which chord am I going to play. It's just I've got this feeling and my fingers play that. Just like walking, we have no idea how we walk, but we do it all the time.
It's natural.
It's natural.
Yeah.
And so there's this fine-tuning, and I think the more tuned we are to it, the less we need to think, and it's always our thoughts that get in the way of inspiration. And then comes back to your question, am I writing it or is it divine inspiration? I don't know. I do know that the less I think, the more beautiful it often is.
Yeah.
So sometimes I wake up with a melody and I quickly jump out of bed and write it down. Or with the poem, I wake up in the middle of the night and write down 5 sentences on my phone. And the next morning I might, change the language a little bit or fix some spelling mistakes in there.
Yeah.
Is that me doing it? Is it live happening? I don't really know. I think it's, again, this dance between me and live and me spending ages with it. Because in the beginning, when I started writing, there was nothing. That, first times I started writing songs, they were very silly songs. And if I would have given up then, I would never have written anything that was worthwhile. But because I kept doing it, at some points there were songs where I thought, wow, did I write that? Or did that happen through my fingers?
So the pencil had to be sharpened, or has to be sharpened.
Yeah.
And then you get more fine-tuned.
Yeah.
And
And it's...
But it didn't take you any... did it take you effort? Or was it just all coming natural to you?
Well, it took me effort, but I didn't mind the effort. Because, for example, one of the things that I'm very passionate about with music is how it sounds. I love music that just sounds good. It has purely the quality of how it's recorded. Yeah. And so I spent ages learning about how to operate a mixing desk and how to get the best reverb and the best microphone. Yes, that took a lot of effort, but I loved every second of it. I would, in the evening go to bed reading about it, or later on the internet finding stuff about it. And
passion.
It's passion, yeah. And so with piano, I there were times where I was practicing scales because I wanted my fingers to be a little bit more flexible. That wasn't maybe the most fun part of doing it, but
you still loved it.
I still loved it because it helped me getting myself out of the way of just letting that music flow. Yeah. And if my fingers are all tangled up, then it stops me from just letting that music flow. So,
could we say, concluding, that we have to find our passion, or let the passion find us?
I wouldn't say any conclusion.
No, but I'm just thinking.
I think we can. It's so easy to turn something into a goal again, where we often fail to see the talents that we already have, and so we are looking for. So maybe if I'm a great musician, I want to be able to make great films as well. Yeah. And not seeing that what to me is completely natural. For example, me playing on the piano and just improvising, and people tell me, "Wow, that brought me to tears." And I'm thinking, but I'm just fiddling a little bit. So it's very easy not to see our own talents. Yeah. So finding it or being found by it.
Or being open, just
but just do what you're already doing and enjoy that and let it, don't think too much about it. Just let it happen as it happens.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, but even wanting to be spontaneous is not that spontaneous. No. But, Don't Worry, Be Happy is this great song by Bobby McFerrin, who's a great human being, by the way. At least I don't know him personally, but if you see him sing, that makes my heart sing. But I think he's very right. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. We want to find that holy grail failing to see that we are the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
That's what we are. So whether I make beautiful music or not, whether I inspire just one person or whether I inspire 1 million people, that doesn't matter. We're still this living miracle, and it's so easy to stop failing to see that, because we feel that only if we achieve something we're good enough.
Yeah.
The truth is we are good enough always. There's no way we could ever not be good enough.
Yeah, beautifully said. Thank you very much, Joris, and we're gonna follow you with all the things you do.
Thank you.
A new edition of Advaita TV, an interview with Michiel Slechten in Zwolle. I have some information here about Michiel and his book, At Ease at the Well, Praxis of the Natural State. You work as a teacher in natural meditation. Michiel gives conscious therapy in his hometown here where we are, Zwolle, in the Netherlands. Awareness of direct experience is his teaching. Natural meditation is self-realization as praxis. His teaching is simple and profound, and in line with the non-dual Dzogchen teachings from Tibet, known as the praxis of the natural state. The focus is on realizing our natural state of oneness and perfection. After 6 years of meditation practice integrated into everyday living, Michiel awoke in 1995 to his true nature. With the help of a Dzogchen teacher, maybe you can say his name again, because it's quite difficult for me.
Yeah, it's Lopon Tenzin Namdak.
Okay. He is also the teacher of the Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm. Has been, yeah.
Has been.
Yeah.
Michiel followed intensely Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle and Rinpoche. Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
After more than 20 years of realization, the e-book At Ease at the Well was published. Michiel Slechten has a clear and poetic way of writing and encourage you direct to experience what is written. Michiel is open for Skype consultation based on donations, and his teachings are recorded and can be found at his website michielslechten.nl. We'll put a link under this interview. Michiel, thanks for having me, and thanks for this introduction, so everyone knows who you are. 1995. Can you remember anything about that time, that place? Where were you, and what happened?
Yeah, I was in the room where the Lopon Tenzin Namdak gave his teachings about the natural state. And I had praxis meditation for 6 years in different forms, and what he was expressing about the natural state, that's my experience. I thought that man is talking about what is what I feel and what I hear and what I. So it's very nice as when the teaching is understood by the mind. Just when you recognize what somebody is saying in your own experience.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in my life that I heard someone speaking about self-realization, enlightenment, the natural state of being. Yeah.
And where were you?
And that's
was that in Holland, or what was that in a foreign country where you were at that time?
That was in Holland.
Okay,
yeah.
You came to Holland.
Yeah. A few years he has given teachings in Zwolle.
Yeah.
Of in Zwolle, no, not in Zwolle, in Amsterdam. Yeah.
And what was it that draw you to him? There were more teachers at that time, I believe. Why especially him?
Yeah. I has become curious about the Tibetan Buddhism.
Yeah.
So I read some books, and I find the Dzogchen teaching very attractive.
Because
it's you can compare it with Advaita. It is the Advaita from the from the Tibetan Buddhism.
Yeah, yeah.
And no, I feel me drawn to that, and I had made a choice between the Dzogchen teachings from the Dalai Lama Buddhism or the Dzogchen teachings from the Bön Buddhism. There's a difference between those two. The Bön direction is the old religion of Tibet. Long before the Buddhism of the Dalai Lama, from Shakyamuni Buddha came to Tibet, long before there was the Bön religion. And no, what me attracted in the Bön religion was their openness, and they're willing to give the whole teachings directly. While in the normal Buddhism of Tibet, the great how do you call that? From the Dalai Lama.
Great teaching.
Yeah. You have to go many years of preliminary praxis.
Yeah.
And they told almost nothing about Dzogchen. They kept that secret, you could say. Nobody knows. Most people don't know that there is a Dzogchen teaching in the Tibetan Buddhism.
How come?
Yeah, they kept it. I don't know. You have to start from the bottom up. Make first 100,000 prostrations flat on the ground.
Oh.
And come back 3 years later. And that's only one step. And then, and the Bön was much more open.
Yeah.
And willing to give the whole teachings.
Yeah. So in 1995, this awakening happened. Then a logical question always is: Did something change in your life? Did you become a different version of yourself, or did all things stay the same?
Yeah, a lot of things have changed. Yeah. For me, it was not a sudden realization. It was gradual. So, yeah, we talk about this point more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And still, there is a process going on to integrate clarity and openness in every moment.
Yeah.
I see also with the persons who have a sudden awakening, the awakening does not reach every aspect of their life. It can be brilliant, clear in one section of a life, and a stupid fool in the forgive me the strong words.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There are unaware in other aspects of their life.
Yeah.
And so the gradual process is for everyone.
Yeah. No exceptions. No people who are and then.
Yeah, there are some people who are at a very young age have a beautiful realization. That's true. It's how fast that is going, the integration process in every aspect of your life and body. It's not predictable. It differs a lot.
Yeah, so it's a difference for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's for us not. It can be interesting, but we don't have to follow the path Michiel Slechte has followed, or we cannot follow the path. Different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always follow your own path.
Yeah.
And every time you think, I try to follow the path from this direction or that direction, it's a little bit dangerous, because you move away from your own path. And that's so important to every time to find your own knowing.
And how do I know if I'm on the right path? There can be some doubt that you think, well, is this right? Is this the right teacher? Is this the right teaching? Is this the right book? Am I at the right place? Do I have to move to another country? Do I have to move to Canada where there's more nature? You know, all those questions which pop up.
Yeah. And they bring you further.
Well, further into thinking all the time. Yeah.
And I can only teach my own way of realization.
Yeah.
And every teacher can only teach his own way of realization.
Yeah.
And what for me important is, yeah. Just being aware of this moment, what is happening now, what is true now, and that is what I am. So perhaps we could deepen that today a little bit.
Please.
What is true and what is not true. What comes up when I say that?
What is true and what is not true? We did some talks before in Dutch, and then you told me that no thought is true. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no. The appearance of a thought is true. And it's the appearance of a story.
I know what you. I think I know what you're pointing at. Yeah, and that's not the reality right now.
A story is a story.
Yeah,
it's just fantasy about something.
Yeah, how it could be, or should be, or will be. Yeah.
We could play a game now.
Oh, nice. Games are nice. Yeah.
say something, or ask something to me about what you think is true.
Okay. Like the
Yeah.
work of Byron Katie. We're gonna.
Not
No?
only.
No,
Not
okay,
only, not
okay,
only. Yeah,
well.
a little bit.
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you something which is true. Well,
what you think is true? Yeah.
yeah. What I think is true is that I'm too fat. That I have too much weight on my body. Is it true? I don't know. In comparison, when I see a picture of myself of 5 or 10 years ago, you could say, well, that was a thinner version of yourself than you are right now.
Yeah.
Is that something we can deepen?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a story, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's so not true. It's a story about I have too much fat,
Weight on my body. Yeah.
weight on your body.
Yeah.
It's when there is no thought about your body.
Yeah.
You are what you are.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong. Yeah. Nothing wrong or right.
Yeah.
It just is. This is the body at this moment.
Yeah. So that's the realization. It is a story about my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you know that it is a story,
Mhm.
you don't suffer about
No,
it.
that's true. That's true.
You're free,
Yeah.
and you're free to do what you want.
Yeah.
It is not good. It is not bad. Also, both sides are stories.
Yeah.
So you are free from the stories in that realization that it is a story.
Yeah.
And so you are also free to do something about it
Mhm.
or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not being very harsh on myself then.
Yeah.
But this when I look at this camera and I see this back, then the story starts. Then I see myself like, ooh. Then I start judging
Yeah.
myself. When I don't see myself, I don't judge myself. So all those mirrors and cameras and pictures people take of themselves,
Yeah.
for me the judging starts. Self-judging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you only have to notice what is happening.
Mm-hmm. And don't believe it.
Yeah, that's clear seeing. Clear seeing starts with the recognition that it is a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can deepen that recognition to it is a story, but is there attachment in believing that it is true?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I have done the work of Byron Katie for many years, and it's a profound teaching to what to identify that every thought is untrue. Every thought has no base in reality. It's just a story.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you know a lot about Advaita.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ramana Maharshi also says my teaching is the teaching of silence.
Mm-hmm.
Being still is enough. And then he talks a lot about no mind. And no mind means, in his teaching, no thought is true. And when you go to the depth of that, you can find that stillness and silence at all times. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it right now also. But that's a strange thing. When I listen to you or when I'm in a room with you, it's not that difficult to find this underlying sense of peace and stillness and no mind and everything is okay. But yeah, we cannot be in a room with Michiel Slechter all the time. So.
Yeah, it's your own stillness, what you feel.
Yeah, okay.
So
how come I feel it when I'm with you and when I'm in a busy supermarket? It's at the back. It's almost gone. I can. It will be there, but I cannot feel it.
Yeah, it's an integration process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can you give us some tools how to stay anchored in this field of unknowing, or how do you want to call it, this field of love, peace? Can we throw out something there that we can reach it all the time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of I call that the bells are ringing with certain sounds. Stillness in a conversation is another bell that wakes you up.
Mm-hmm.
When you are busy on the computer screen and then you pause a little, your head goes up. That's also a moment to deepen your stillness.
Mm-hmm.
Stress, when you feel stress, that's one of the most important bells that can wake you up.
Yeah. Because you know that you have to slow down at that moment, or.
Yeah. Give attention to what you feel.
Yeah.
That feeling wants attention, and the mind, the thinking mind, is the most of the time the first who jump on stress and pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the practice. There's not see what is happening. Eh?
Mm-hmm. Trying to get away from it,
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Want awareness is soft and gentle and friendly and understanding, and you're at ease. Good feelings are coming
Yeah.
together, and it's totally different than the thought process.
Yeah.
The thoughts want to find a solution.
Yeah.
No. Perfect, but wait a little. Yes, feel my pain.
Yeah.
Yes, feel my stress, and aware of what is happening, so your body can come to rest, and then you can use the mind to change something in your perhaps for your body.
Mm.
So I want to lose weight, so
I buy this.
what shall I do?
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting is a very good way to lose weight.
Yeah.
For example, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
How does that work?
That works. You don't eat a breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and the hours wherein you are eating,
Mm-hmm.
you bring it down to 8 hours in a day.
So we should.
So perhaps on 11
A.M.
AM.
Yeah. You start eating until 7 p.m. and that's.
7 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your body gets the signal. I need food. I need food. I need food.
Yeah.
So your cells, your hormones get sensitive
Mm-hmm.
to the regulation of your food intake.
Mm-hmm.
And when you eat all the day except when you are sleeping, your body gets the signal from it's enough, not more, it's too much. I want to have a break.
Yeah.
So it gets how do you call that? Distorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about this in our Dutch interview. You have a quite different diet than I have. You are on a raw. It's not a diet, but you eat only raw food.
Yeah.
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 What about food? I when I go to the hamburger joint, the McDonald's, and I eat it after 2 hours, I really start feeling dirty. I get this sense about myself. Mm-hmm. How come that food gives us so much signals and feelings, and how is that when you only eat raw food? What did that do with you and your body?
Yeah, I do it now 27 years, so I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah. But does it
it feels good, and it helps me to have a clear mind also.
Yeah.
Clarity is not dependent on the on the sickness of your body.
Mm-hmm.
You can be clear about when your body gives unclear signals.
Okay.
But you are then clear about unclarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to be clear about clear.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not dependent on this body. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking when I start eating only vegetables and only raw food, fish, maybe then I will become clear also, more clear.
Yeah. No, it doesn't have to do something with your spiritual practice. No.
But there must be a reason for you.
A little bit perhaps, because you are going in search for. You want to be loving to all and everything.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
So more caring for your body leads automatic to the good diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Byron Katie was huge. Eh?
Yeah.
And after her realization, she became
Thin again.
Thin again. Why is that? Because it's the same as your house. Your surroundings. You see the beauty of everything. You see the beauty of the most terrible things. And at the same time, you transform your surroundings in more beauty.
Yeah, I can imagine something about that, what you say. So, your book, you have completed the translation?
No, not
Not
yet.
Not yet?
No.
Is it difficult to translate a book from Dutch to English? Some teachers tell me, well, but in English there are far more words for this kind of teachings than we have in Dutch. So, how does that work?
Yeah, for me it's also a little bit difficult because my English is not perfect.